What's up, everybody? You're here with the Fly Guy. Today I just wanted to go over the dub minnow. It's a simple streamer pattern that I fish for smallmouth and trout, and it's fairly easy to tie, especially if you know how to use a dubbing loop. Once you get that down, these patterns you can shell them out pretty quick and fill up your box with a great searching streamer. I've fished this fly in Ohio and Maryland, and I've been fishing it for a while, and it's brought a lot of fish to the net for me. I'm going to link to some fishing footage for you that you can check out. I've caught some nice bass and trout on it. If you like the content that I'm producing on my channel, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure that you hit that bell so you know when new videos come out. I typically fish this pattern in the spring into early summer, and then I might fish it in through summer a little bit. If I'm fishing maybe a colder water system where spring tends to last a little bit longer. That's really where this fly shines. It also does really well in small creeks where this is the size of bait fish that you're going to be trying to imitate. Any type of small creek or stream, this minnow is going to get the job done. It's going to look like the perfect size meal. And you can do some recon on your own. You can take a look at the bait fish that are swimming around, see what colors you need to imitate, maybe even set a minnow trap and take some photographs. That's what I did when I was a kid. I set a minnow trap, baited it, came back, looked at those minnows, looked at the colors, and then I imitated those. And then, I looked at the lures that were on the shelf at the store. Heck, you can go to Walmart, take a look at some of the lures that these bass guys are throwing and be like, you know what? I've caught fish on that color before. I'm going to try to imitate that on a fly. Let your creativity go hog wild and really take this simple method of constructing this fly and build your own pattern, build your own color system, something that works for you in your waters. That's the beauty of this sport and the beauty of this hobby is you can let your creativity go wild and really create something unique, special, and awesome. So the first place that I want to start is this hook. Okay, this fly is tied on a short shank hook for a reason. Number one, I don't need a long shank hook because my materials give it the length that I need. And with a shorter shank hook and longer materials off the tail, you get greater action. This hook right here, I tie my carp flies on it. I buy it in several different sizes. I will put a link to it in the description if you want to try tying on these hooks. It's a simple short shank hook, and when fish get it in their mouth, it is hard for them to come loose. Anytime I get a chance to tie on these short shank hooks, it gives me the opportunity to keep more fish buttoned. The longer the shank, the greater the chance of that fish being able to exert leverage on that hook and get it turned out of their mouth. So this short shank hook, I'll put a link in the description to it below. Check it out. It's a great hook to tie on. That's the one thing I want to highlight about this hook is that it's also hyper durable. This is a tough hook. It's very strong. I fish it for carp. I have never had this hook bend out. I've never had it break. I've never had a hook point break off. It's just a super durable hook, and the funny part about it is it's unbranded and it's cheap. So for me, that means win. So if you're interested in saving some money at the vise when you're tying patterns, if you tie a lot or you're just looking to save some money in this hobby, I'll put a link in the description to this hook, so check these out. Start tying on them. I know you won't be disappointed. So I'm starting at the tail with this pattern. I chose marabou because I wanted to keep the fly short and compact. It does have the appearance that there is a lot of marabou in this fly, but that is because it is dry. If you really look at this pattern, there's about 1/8 of a marabou feather of 2 colors. So you end up with maybe a quarter of 1 feather total in the tail. It's gray over top of white, so it has a blended look. And there's only a couple strands of crystal flash in there. You don't need much flash because at the tail is not where most of the flash is anyway. A lot of that flash is in the body. So you don't really need a lot of flash in this pattern. In fact, you could leave it off and it would fish just fine because the dubbing blend that I use in the body contains flash, so it gives it that minnow sparkle. Now with the tail, less is more. So if you're going to tie these up, make sure that the more sparse you make your marabou, the more movement you're going to get out of it. A lot of guys like to pack materials on the hook when they're fishing streamers, and that's easy to do. It's an easy thing to get used to, is to packing a lot of materials in to make this big bulky streamer. But if you're going to tie these up and you're going to fish patterns like this, it's kind of like a Clouser minnow. Less is more. And the space that is left over when you put a sparse amount of marabou in the tail is going to enable you to have air and water flow through that tail, and it's going to move, especially in a river current, when you're not doing anything to that fly. So the more movement you can get out of it when you're not imparting action to that fly is really going to get you more results. You're going to get a lot of pause takes, which is important because it increases your potential to hook up and bring fish to the net. Now with the body of this fly, it's very simple. The center dubbing is just a simple gray dubbing. I use bugger dub. This is a dubbing that I blend together specifically for my woolly buggers and my minnow patterns like this. It's just a dubbing loop, and you spin it and wrap it up towards about the 3/4 point of the fly, and then all you do is you put some accent dubbing in white and a little bit of black on top. This little section here going down the middle, that's just an accent piece that I did with permanent marker. I just kind of dabbed in a little bit of barring there in the side just to kind of give it a little bit more contrast and a little bit more of a natural look. So the body's pretty simple. Spin up that dubbing loop, get that dubbing in there. Make sure that you don't put too much on because you don't want it to look too bulky. You want this to kind of slim down and compress all together so the colors blend and it looks natural like a minnow. Alright, so the head of this fly is pretty simple. It is beaded, okay, but at the beginning of the pattern I do add a little bit of weight up near the head because I like that head to dip a little bit. When it drops, it signals an injured fish, an easier opportunity. So even if you're stripping this fly fast, when it dips with its head first and it starts pointing down, or if you're lifting that fly up towards the surface like a fleeting bait fish, that weight is going to provide you some killer action. And when it starts dipping down or up based on your retrieve and the weight distribution, that tail is going to start kicking. So you're going to get more action when you add a little bit more weight, and when you're fishing it in cold water, you're going to be able to get down, because getting down in cold water can be a little bit difficult if you don't have a weighted fly or a heavier hook or a bead or maybe some dumbbell eyes. Those molecules in the water are closer together, okay? So when you're approaching these fish and you're fishing where trout and smallmouth mix, maybe you're fishing spring, maybe you're fishing fall, or even late spring into early summer, this fly is going to sink for you. Get down and get in the zone and stay there. That's the biggest thing. It's one thing to be able to get in the zone, but the biggest thing is when you're fishing deeper water as a fly angler, you might be able to get down, but you might not be able to stay down. And this type of a streamer coupled with an intermediate sink line or a full sink fly line, you can strip that right through the zone, keep it there, and put it right in front of the fish you're targeting, and you'll see a better success rate that way. So if you're going to be fishing this in super shallow water and you don't have to worry about that, maybe a warm water system, where you don't have to worry about getting down. In fact, getting down might be harmful to you. You can leave the lead weight off, because this fly will fish just as well right under the surface. So yeah, this head is very simple, just a bead, and this is touched up with nail polish, this little strip here, and that color is sealed up under some UV resin. So very durable fly. It fishes in all sections of the water column, and it's pretty easy to tie, doesn't take much time. So I hope this has helped you, kind of give you just a simple platform to tie this great guide fly, the dub minnow. If you don't tie, you can get this fly from me on my website at tfgflies.com. I'll link it in the description below. You can also get the tying recipe for this fly on my website as well. That'll be under the Bass tab. Make sure that you click under streamers when you go to tying recipes, and you'll be able to see it there. That'll be a free download for you. If you like this video, go ahead and hit thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more fly fishing and fly tying videos. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.